Are there any questions? Yes, ma'am. Sir.
What's the difference between 5 element and traditional acupuncture?
So, basically TCM, traditional Chinese medicine, is, so 5 element, this system, is used in TCM.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's an easy way to move energy around the body. Because you use this chart and you go, you know, you do the metal point in liver and it pulls energy from here over to there. So, or you do the water point in liver and it pulls the energy from the kidney over here. And then they go into different things like that. I mean, basically the 5 element stuff like I was talking about. So the difference though, because TCM, what they're doing is they're looking at pairs of opposites. They're looking at hot and cold, internal and external, dry and damp, and help me, yin and yang. And then that's called a principle, and they're balancing those opposites in a sense with needles. And that really is an herbal system that the communists in China use to help balance and do symptomatic treatment. Meaning, so someone's, you know, and this, you know, this is a 5 element diagnosis. So someone's shouting and they're angry and they're a little crazy. They have hot liver rising. Their face is all red. And so what do? You quell liver fire, right? Mm-hmm. And there are points you can use to do that. Okay? But what this is more of a, I've heard it said more of a shamanistic approach, where you're looking to basically see someone without their mask, see somebody without, in a sense, nakedly. Although I actually know practitioners that do make people take their clothes off because it leaves them in a much more vulnerable place. I don't do that yet, but that would be the difference. And so what this is, I mean, and actually the heart-based medicine idea is going into that when someone is out of balance, there's a particular official itself that's out of balance, and that's what's showing in these senses that we're getting. And when you treat that, the symptoms go away, and you don't have to then do calculus to figure out what the hell's going on. You actually just help somebody and they get better. I mean, you do some points and acne goes away. And did I treat the acne? No. And really the ins and outs of how it happens, I don't know, but I got the odor and the sound and the color and the emotion apparently correctly, you know, whatever that's meaning, because, you know, you're going to treat things in different ways, and if you're in the wrong place, it doesn't really matter, because, you know, you treat metal and they're really earth, you're treating the son of earth anyway, or if they're really water, you're treating the mother of water anyway, you know, or across the co-cycle, the grandmother. So you're going to affect things if you're doing the wrong, even if you're not going to get there quicker. It just works better if you happen to make the right diagnosis. And that's the way it is with any type of medicine.
Mm-hmm.
So. Any other questions?
Yes, you answered my question.
Super.
I have a question. So does each of the elements, or each of the masters, whatever you call them,
officials,
have their own emotional component? Is it
So
One or
each-
both, or?
So actually, with the correspondences, they're calling it. Each element has its own correspondence. So which is all these down here. You have emotion, sounds, odors, seasons, climate, power, taste. And it has each of its things. The emotion for water is fear. The sound is a groaning sound. The odor is a putrid odor. The season is winter. The climate's cold. Fortifies the bones. And the power is to emphasize. The taste is salty. And then so each element actually has its own correspondences. The hard part with the correspondences is if you talk about the correspondences, everybody goes click, click, and then you try to list things. And it's not, this talk was more of an overview of the heart of the matter. It's not like listing correspondences. And it just ends up being calculus at that point. And I want to deal with addition, maybe a little multiplication. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So really, this chart explains a lot of things. It's very technical in its own way. Each of these circles, this is metal, and this is the lung, which would be a predominantly yin official, hence it's on the inside of the circle. And then what's on the outside are yang officials, and the yang officials are going to be, that's what's called hollow organs, and meaning they transport something through them. But this is the colon out here, and then you have, these are points that are that are on the colon meridian, which goes from here all the way up to the nose. And the liver channel goes from the big toe up the inside, and then goes to here actually. Liver, yeah, liver schmirk. The gallbladder goes all the way up the sides. The gallbladder is the upright official of decision making and judgment. It's the only hollow organ, predominantly official, that produces a pure substance, bile. All the rest of them move things around. The gallbladder is on the side, goes all the way up, all the way around the head, holds us up from the side, upright official. Decision making and judgment. And it never stops. It makes decisions all day long, all night long. The heart never stops. It just keeps going. A little Energizer bunny in there. Except the view of the emperor or empress putting out decrees to the kingdom, saying, hey, being an example, this is how you should act, and then two, going, this is what we need to do to be able to do this together, and then sending that out through the cardiovascular system. The heart protector is not only a bodyguard, it's also disseminates information. Goes out and rides out into the kingdom and says, hey, the emperor said this. Anything else? Jeremy? No?
I think I'm good.
Okay. I think that's about it. I'm done.